Good afternoon and welcome to the Sunday Spin. Guys, this is the 16th episode of the Sunday Spin. Super excited to be back here with you. You know, we took like a 3 or 4 week break, had to get out across the country, deliver the latest from the restaurant and travel magazine. If you don't have a copy of that, make sure you pick one up. You can get it all over Panama City through our distribution partners. If you do not know who those distribution partners are, go ahead, leave a message in the comments, and we will get back to you, myself or my team, either throughout the show or after the show. As always, we're running on 7 different channels. We're here on Facebook. We're on Facebook groups, and we're on a couple of different YouTube channels. So if you are leaving a comment, please give us a little bit of time to get back with you. Now, we have some awesome guests today. As you know, the Sunday Spin's all about introducing those that are considering Panama and are looking for information prior to either making the decision to move here, coming down to Panama and checking it out. You know, we really want to make sure you have that information. And, you know, our good friends, Inside Panama Real Estate, you know, they are the sponsor of this show. They put together an amazing ebook. And now this ebook, not like others, is free. So if you want that free ebook, it's super simple. All you got to do is email freeebook@ipreinfo.com and you can get yourself that free ebook. Definitely want to check that out because there's been a lot of great updates to that ebook. And we're going to talk to one of our guests today about a lot of these updates, you know, and I want to mention that, you know, we have some awesome guests today. We're going to have José Alejandro Rojas. He is going to be talking to us about Qualified Investor Program. That's an investment program here in Panama that could be of major interest to a lot of people. And then we're also going to be talking about a tourism investment incentive. We want to get all the details. I'm like you, man. I want to get all these details and figure out what is offered through these different incentive programs. Right after we talk with José Alejandro, we're going to bring on Jaime Bocanegra. He's going to talk to us about his experience. Now, he was a senior executive with the Panama Canal. Really neat to talk to him. And he's created a new program called Panama Basics. And it's, again, to help people like yourself out there that are looking to move to Panama, whether, you know, you're a digital nomad or someone that works in the tech industry. You know, we know that you're not going to have to go to the office anymore. So why live in a place like San Francisco, California, where it's super expensive, the weather's cold, you know, where you can come down to Panama and live like a king on the beach with beautiful people, a beautiful culture. I mean, it's just a fantastic place to consider if you are in that tech industry. And of course, the retirees, as always, there's a lot of retirees looking at coming down here. And this free ebook that IPR, Inside Panama Real Estate, has is definitely going to be good for you as well. And of course, anybody that didn't like the outcome in the United States of the presidential election. I know a lot of people are reaching out. I'm hearing the chatter around the country that a lot of Northern Americans are looking into Panama a lot more so now. So we're going to be talking about that with all of these great guests today. And then finalizing the show, we're going to have our sponsor, as always, Mr. Michael Vuytowecz. Super looking forward to talking to him. You know, he's got a lot of information about the activities happening here in the country. Remember, guys, if you are interested in that free ebook, just email him, freeebook@ipreinfo.com. And if you want to go a little bit more and you want to get really into it and you want someone basically to hold your hand and make sure that you are taken care of with the best real estate, with the best attorneys, the best insurance providers, and really just a great deal of know-how here in Panama, we offer the Do Panama Relocation Program. Email us at info@dopanama.com, or you can send me an email directly if you want to talk directly with me. My email is austin@dopanama.com. Guys, we are going to watch this awesome video by Adventure Rich of this amazing country, and then we're going to jump into these interviews. I hope you enjoy this show. And again, remember, if you have any questions, make sure to leave a comment, email me, and we will get back to you, either myself or someone in my team. Hit that like button, give me some laughs, have some fun. You know, we're sitting here in Panama City. We've had a lot of rain lately. It's been very devastating for the western part of Panama. We want to say our prayers for them. But here in the city, as you can see, it is beautiful day here. Very sunny, warm, and we're looking forward to talking to you. So let's watch this quick film, and then we're going to be talking with José Alejandro Rojas, and we are super excited. So guys, talk to you in just a second. All right, guys, we have Mr. José Alejandro Rojas, Minister of Private Investments here in Panama. Jose, welcome to the show, my friend. Thank you for taking this time to talk with us.
Thank you very much, Austin, and thanks for having us. Delighted and excited to be here.
Oh, man, the honor is mine. You know, there's a lot of new things happening in the country, and as much as I love helping people, I also really, really like having the right information. So this is great, not only for our viewers today, but even myself. You know, we want to get into the nitty gritties of what's going on with all these new awesome incentives that Panama has to offer. But first, I'd like to talk a little bit about yourself, your background, and your position with the government.
Well, I'm an engineer by trade. I work out of the university. I studied at Purdue University. I worked for General Electric Company. There I worked in 6 different industries and had 11 different jobs before moving to Panama. I was headquartered in Fairfield, Connecticut, but it was moving all over in all these different industries. And around 13 years ago, when I was about 27, I started a real estate and construction company in Panama. Did that for the last 13 years until I started, up until 5 years ago, I started working with the candidate at that moment, President Cortizo. At the same time, I was being a developer. So I was a director of finance of his campaign. When we took office, started working with him, facilitating private investment. So pretty much being like a one-stop shop concierge service so that investors can invest their money and we can generate jobs, 1, and 2, kind of cutting all the red tape and all that over bureaucracy for when people are investing.
Well, I like to hear that because, yeah, we definitely, you know, I was always been very attracted to this country because of the opportunity. And, you know, some of the people that we reach out to and people watching this film today might be those that are interested in not only moving to Panama, but investing in Panama. So let's talk about, we have Austin. This new, what, are you there? So can you hear me there, Alejandro or Jose? There we go. All right, just give us a second there.
I'm losing you.
Oh, well, we lost Jose Alejandro there. Guys, we're going to jump over with Jaime Bocanegra. You know, Jaime's got a new program, and I'm really looking forward to talking to him. Hopefully we can get back on with Jose Alejandro. But looks like he's jumping back on here. Let's see if we can get back on with him real quick.
I'm here. I lost you for a second.
No worries, no worries. All right, Jose Alejandro, thank you so much again for that introduction. Now, you mentioned this qualified investment and, you know, wanting to bring those opportunities into the country. Let's break down this new investment program and what are the elements and what is this program or visa? Who is it directed to?
Well, a great differentiator is that the person can apply online, and in less than 30 days, you would get that permanent residency. One, and then two, there are three different types of investments that can be made in order for having that permanent residency. One is a $300,000 in real estate investment. Two, $500,000 in the Panamanian stock market on Panamanian enterprises. And three, having a time deposit of $750,000. So if you meet any of the three criterias, then you can apply online because of all this COVID. It changes kind of the way that people are trying to do things. So it's very innovative. And then in less than 30 days, then you would have a Panamanian residency, a permanent residency.
So, oh my goodness, like this is huge. This is like a really big deal. So if I came down to Panama, or I was looking at Panama, maybe I'm watching this film, I'm in Chicago today, and I've been looking at real estate, and there was a home that I liked for $380,000 in Boquete. So if I was to go ahead and go along with that purchase, then I would qualify for this program. Do I have to buy the home first, or how does that work?
Yeah, you would have to either have a promise of purchase,
okay,
or the purchase itself. Okay,
awesome.
On the case of the purchase, on the second case of just showing proof of funds that either you have putting the money in a time deposit in a Panamanian bank, or the third one, which would be having the monies invested in the Panamanian stock market.
Wow, this is incredible. Well, and obviously all three elements are very interesting. I personally see that the investment of $300,000 or more, that's going to be one that's going to be probably more likely for a lot of, at least people watching the show, that have considered coming down, retiring, coming down, and just changing their lifestyle. I mean, obviously, we've all gone through a tough year with this COVID, and a lot more people are looking to be in nature. And as you and I both know, Panama is full of nature. Like, we have beautiful mountains. We have some of the most beautiful beaches I've ever seen. We have over 500 gorgeous islands throughout the country on both the Pacific and the Atlantic coast. And it's just an incredible place to find nature. So, that incentive, that's interesting. So if I were to do that, let's say I'm sitting up in Chicago right now and I wanted to be a part of that program. I was talking to the realtors. I got my promise to purchase, or maybe I already purchased the property. Mm-hmm. Do I just go on, or do I need an attorney to do that for me?
You could start the process online by yourself, and then before the end of the process, you would need an attorney in order for all the other immigrations and to have the right advice.
Of course.
But you could start it up online, and in 30 days, you would have your permanent residency.
And I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm glad you mentioned that because, I've been here. I'm an expat, obviously. I married a beautiful Panamanian girl. I have a great Panamanian family and lots of Panamanian friends. I love the culture. I never planned on living in Panama. Now that I do and I'm in love with it, I went ahead and got my Friendly Nations visa, which I know that's going to be changing in the near future. Just briefly, and I think that you and I are looking forward to talking to you again live on the show, maybe in 3 or 4 weeks when that information comes out. But with this, it just seems so easy now that if you have this purchase of a home or these other two options, that now you can apply for that qualified investor program. It's just super awesome. And, like you said, though, too, you can do this yourself. However, one of the things of being here so long, I've seen, and I'm not saying it happens all the time, but I've seen people that maybe get the wrong information from a certain attorney. And that's unfortunate sometimes. I've seen a show recently where someone got the wrong information and they made it public. And, I helped facilitate getting the right information because, I want to make sure people get the right information. That's, with the Do Panama relocation program that we have, we like to walk alongside of people. Like, that's my favorite part. I love when people come down and have a seamless experience getting any kind of a visa here in Panama, but also connecting with the right realtors, connecting with the right insurance people, finding the best restaurants, obviously, and all the beautiful destinations we have. So Yeah, I love what you guys got going on now. With this qualified investor program, is this for any like nationality, or is it only certain nationalities that can have this?
Any nationality. Yes, when we have a friendly nations, then you're looking at a different scope
Yep.
with different rules that we're looking at. And the reason why we're looking at reviewing everything is because COVID is presenting different challenges, and you have as they call it in the World Economic Forum, it's a great reset. So you have to start looking at everything differently, not as we're used to looking at it, and we're looking at how we can attract talent, how we can attract talent for digital nomads, how we can in tourism, what we can do differently. So we passed a law called Law 122, which pretty much any investment in tourism is 100%. You would get 100% tax credit. So, and that tax credit, it's marketable. You can negotiate it, so you can monetize it. So pretty much the money that you're investing, you're gonna get it back for sure, and then plus whatever investment you get. So, we're looking at, what are the public policies and what are the conditions that need to be made in order to attract investment, local and foreign investment. Panama is number one country in Latin American foreign direct investment per capita. So we are, consolidating that position, understanding that we present the best socioeconomic and political stability in all of Latin America, because of the US dollar that we've had it for 116 years. If you look at how Panama has had inflation rates lower than 2.5% in the last 50 years. So compared to countries such as the US from a stability standpoint, and without a doubt, there's no country in Latin America that can, stand to those conditions from a socioeconomic and political stability. And that's key with COVID, and we can discuss that further.
Awesome. And you bring up a great point here, and I actually had that on my list to talk about this new tourism investment incentive. So, for example, if I go on, it looks like we lost Jose there again. Hopefully we get him back on, because I really want to ask this question. I actually have David Sewell chiming in over there. Nice to see you, David. David, you brought up a very good question. We're bringing Jose Alejandro back on right now. Jose, so a good friend of mine watching the show right now just asked a great question. If someone were to buy, let's say, a hotel that's already built, it's already running, it's in Boquete, it's in Boca Chica, if they purchase that, and they're not gonna, and maybe they'll change the linens, maybe they'll paint it, but they're not making any major investment on the renewal or any remodeling, does that incentive work for that purchase as well?
Yes, sir.
Oh my God. So, man, you're like Santa Claus. You got all the good news.
I'll just bring it up so we have no confusion. It doesn't apply for Panama City.
Yeah.
But besides Panama City, because Panama City already had a lot of investments of incentives going, but it would apply for the rest of the country.
And that's anything tourism. It could be starting a kayaking company. That could be really anything. A restaurant, is that included?
Yes.
Wonderful. Oh my goodness. So that's all good news. Hopefully, if anybody out there watching is interested in this qualified investor program and or the tourism investment incentive, please, we love helping. Again, I created a network full of the best attorneys that are ready to help you with any of these visas. And all you got to do is email Austin at dopanama.com. I love to connect you with these people. We have a great relocation program, and we're ready to help you. We're really ready to help people make that transition. And, everybody's sitting up north with this dream. And now, as we know, with COVID, people are looking for more nature, but also to expedite those dreams. Now, tell me this, Jose, obviously throughout the world, we're going through this COVID situation. What are we forecasting as our economic position going into the future post-COVID?
Well, I mean, COVID is going to be tough on every country. It's been catastrophic. It's No one can deny it. Now, the truth of the matter is that if you look at a situation in March, April, May, there was a liquidity problem all over the world. Okay, so there was a huge amount of printing of money that was done in the US, in developed countries, in European countries, in many countries. Okay, so
Yep.
the thing is that now 2021, 2022, a lot of the money is going to be looking for a destination. Now, most of it, or a great extent of it, it's going to stay in these developed countries. But at the end, it's a game of risk return. So you have to look for higher yields also in order to hedge or average the investments that you're getting or the returns that you're getting. And that's where emerging markets, economies in emerging markets play a very important role. Now, the ones that are going to be the most favored are those that can show that they can deal with or without having social unrest, so having that social peace and having that socio-economic and political stability. That's where Panama, having the US dollar, so you're hedging, right off the bat, you don't have a monetary or a currency exchange
Of course.
risk. And it's proven to be the best country in Latin America from an inflation standpoint, and it has proven to be the best country from a socioeconomic and political stability. So, and in addition to that, from Panama, it's a gateway really to a 700 million people market in all of Latin America. So we're adjusting all of our economic models and creating new economic models so that we can be much more competitive, understanding that what we have to do is really serve a 700 million people market and not focus on a 4 million people market like Panama. And to give you some examples, we have been a hub for 500 years, okay, in for all of Latin America, and we can talk about the Panama Canal and all that, and we can talk about the hub of hubs, like the logistics hub, which is the connectivity of things, or the Tocumen, the airport hub that connects to 1,300 destinations, or the business and services hub. But now we're not only making adjustments in each of them that they are, growing comparatively to other competitors, but we're creating other economic models such as value added. Okay, and why is that important? Because the world, even pre-COVID, was looking at geopolitical situations that we were seeing all over the world. Now, COVID, it's pretty much changing the 40-year idea of globalization, which was generating these huge supply chains that would go from Asia to Europe or from Asia to the US. And now it's saying that you need to complement those supply chains. So they're calling that globalization 2.0. They're saying that supply chains need to have a component that is regionalized so that there's a hedge in these supply chains because of COVID. So that's where Panama, we passed a law called EMA law in Spanish, but it's multinational manufacturing companies, which is based, the ideas came from Law 41 of multinational headquarters that has over 170 multinationals established in Panama, serving all of Latin America, such as Procter & Gamble. So it has very interesting and proven incentives, tax incentives, labor incentives, and migration incentives. Now, here's the deal. Panama has 23 free trade agreements, okay? So that allows you to bring in materials cheaper, mix it up with Panamanian material, generate economies of scale, generate value, generate jobs, and then use that first world platform, logistics platform, and this ecosystem with this new EMA law, multinational manufacturing companies with these incentives on the three items that we talk about, and then you can export at also competitive prices because of the free trade agreements. So what we're looking at is, kind of connecting the dots between the different hubs that we have, adjusting what needs to be adjusted, and then creating new economic models so that we can come out of COVID, much stronger from a relative standpoint compared to our peers.
Of course, love that. I mean, and it all sounds very interesting. Now, if someone were to be looking for more information on that, is there a government website that people can find more details on all these information?
Yeah, it would be MICI. It's MICI, which is the Minister of Commerce and Industry. MICI dot GOB as in boy.com.
Love it. I love it. Now, again, I'm very happy that you're here with us today. I'm so happy to hear about this qualified investor program. I mean, this is huge. I mean, especially from a standpoint of if someone's in the United States and they're ready to make that commitment, I mean, they don't have to get down here and then, 2-3 months later, I mean, they start today. By the time they fly into Panama, their permanent residency could be complete, depending on their time frame that they give themselves. And that's huge. That's really huge for the country. Now, I also know that there's going to be some changes in the Friendly Nations visa coming out. Again, I'd be super honored if you were to come back in 3-4 weeks and we could talk about those changes as well. And then, of course, there's probably going to be all kinds of new things happening and around the world that's going to be making Panama more attractive. Some of the things we've already discussed, but one of them is I think about, and a lot of friends back home are saying, they typically go to Cancun or they go to New York, where these high density areas are less and less attractive, where now you have Panama. So it's definitely Panama's on the map for a lot of people. And is we can share all this information, I think that would be great. I appreciate you coming on today. Is there anything else that you would like to say before we part ways today?
Well, thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mr. Rojas. Guys, we're going to watch our first listing of the day. And actually, it's a hotel for sale in Boquete. Don't worry, Mike is going to tell us. Oh, guys, welcome back. Now, remember that hotel that we just saw is in Boquete, Panama, and we will be talking to Michael Vuytowecz at the end of the show today, and he's going to tell us all about that, how much it costs. And the great news is now we know it's part of, and it is acceptable as part of the tourism investment incentive. That is super cool. Guys, please welcome my second guest today, Jaime Bocanegra, with the Panama Canal, or formerly with the Panama Canal, and with a new amazing live seminar called Basics Panama. Jaime, welcome to the show. How are you this afternoon?
Hi, Austin. How you doing? Can you hear me well?
Man. It's good to see your smile. You're always so happy, and your family's just amazing people. I'm super honored that you were able to make the time to come on the show today. Thank you so much for that. Now, I want to dive right in, but before I do, I really want to understand you, because you are an interesting and unique individual. You have a vast background. You worked in the Panama Canal as a senior executive, and I'm sure you have a lot more to tell us. So if you can just give us a little information about yourself and your background, I'd greatly appreciate it.
Sure. Austin, in a nutshell, first of all, I need to describe myself as somebody who loves Panama. I'm Panamanian, 100%, born and raised here in Panama. I love my country, but I also very honest about my country. Not everything is perfect, but most things are very good here in Panama.
So pretty darn close.
Exactly. So that's why I like to talk about it. I like to talk about it because I love my country, and I want other people to understand my country and to love my country. And that's why we're creating this program, Panama Basics, to try to educate foreigners when they come to Panama to understand Panama. I'm a true believer that if you understand something, you love it even more. That's like with my wife. I know my wife, and the more I get to know her, the more I love her. The same thing happens with the same thing happens with a country. If you get to know a country, you understand the country, the more you're gonna love that country. Whether you decide to stay or you decide to come here for a little while.
That's me for sure.
That's the way it is.
Every step of the way, I fell more and more in love with this beautiful country.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. The more you know it, the more you love it. So anyhow, going back to your question, a little bit about, in a nutshell, about me. I got my education, my college education, grad and undergrad studies in the United States, in Arizona and in Florida. I love Arizona. It's one of my favorite places in the United States. I have two older daughters living in Arizona. I was in Florida, as I mentioned to you, and then I moved back to Panama. I lived altogether about 9 years in the United States. I worked for the Panama Canal for many years, and I had a chance to work in the Panama Canal during the period the canal was getting ready to be transferred to Panama. And I was in charge of taking care of many of the issues I had to deal with the transfer of the canal to Panama, coordinating many of the contacts with the Panamanian government. So I was working for the U.S. government because the canal was still managed by the United States at that time. I was working for the United States government, but I was helping the Panama Canal get ready for transferring to Panama. So I was helping the canal go to Panamanian hands, to my own country. So it was a nice sense of accomplishment to be able to do that. So as you can see, I live in the United States. I got my education in the United States. My wife is American, so my kids are American too. So I have a flavor for both places. I have a good understanding of the American culture. European. I also work and live in Europe for a little while, and Mexico too. But I have a good understanding for American culture, Canadian culture, European culture. I live with that every day because I'm at home. That's what I have. I'm surrounded by that. But at the same time, as I mentioned to you a few minutes ago, I'm a person who loves and understands Panama very well. So I like to talk about Panama. But I'm very sensitive about the issues that are important for foreigners coming to Panama.
Well, and that's what people need. They need the good, bad, and the ugly. Like you said, Panama is an amazing place. I don't think I've ever felt more safe in my entire life, whether I was traveling and or living in a location. And it's just it is a beautiful country, but there are quirks and kinks with everywhere you can possibly go on this earth. So
like any place in the world.
Like any place in the world. So, and I like that. And, I want to mention real quick too, we're going to talk about this new live seminar that you'll be doing. We're actually going to be helping out with some of the marketing for that. And I'm very excited because, again, if I can help people with information and connect those dots, it's the joy in my life. So If anybody has any information about these seminars that are going to be coming out soon, please send us an email. Again, austin@dopanama.com. I can connect you with Jaime. We can get all the details and get you set up on the waiting list, ready for those seminars to start. But before we do that, let's talk about these seminars. What can someone expect when joining one of your seminars?
We're going to be talking about geography. We're going to be talking about history. We're going to be talking about the type of food that we eat here in Panama, the holidays in Panama. We are very important. We are very happy group of people. So the holidays and time off is very important for us. So we have certain times of the year when you need to be aware of what is it that we do during those times of the year so you can plan accordingly.
Of course.
Like right now, we're going through what we call Fiestas Patrias of Independence Month. That would be the close translation to that. Because we celebrate during the month of November many dates that have to do with Panama becoming an independent country, first from Spain and then from Colombia. In case you didn't know, Panama was part of Spain and was also part of Colombia. So we celebrate during the month of November many days that have to do with our independence from Spain and from Colombia. And because of that, there are many days off during the month of November. So if you're going to come to Panama, you need to be aware of that because you need to play around with the with that reality. So those are the type of things that we're going to be talking about. Because we're going to be talking about the culture of Panama. Panama is, many people think that we are 100% Latin American. Well, yes, I know. We have a little bit flavor of the Caribbean culture. We have a flavor of the Spanish culture, part of our history. We have a close relationship with the United States for more than 150 years. So you will see a lot of things in Panama that reflect that relationship that we have had with the United States. So we're going to be talking about those things. As I said, geography. Panama is a place where people think that it's easy to understand the geography. We're small, 29,000 square miles. So that's pretty small for most standards. Yeah, for a country, the size of South Carolina. However, to mention something that perhaps you didn't know about, in Panama, when we talk about the north, we're talking about what you in the United States would call the east. So if I ask somebody from New York City, which ocean do you have on the east side of the map, they will say, oh, the Atlantic Ocean.
Of course.
That would be the answer. In Panama, when we talk about the Atlantic Ocean or the Caribbean Ocean, it is located on the north side of Panama. And somebody may be wondering, what are you talking about? I mean, north is north, south is south. So east is west, east, and west is west. But in Panama, because the shape of Panama is really laying down. It's not straight up like you will see most countries in the map. So because it's lying down, what we call north is really the Atlantic or the Caribbean. So those are the type of things that we're going to be talking about to give you a flavor for the different things that you will see in Panama. We're a small country, but we have a lot of culture. We have a lot of culture from the Caribbean, a lot of culture from Africans that came to Panama during the Spanish period. We have a lot of culture from Europeans that have been living in Panama also for many years. You talk about restaurants and cuisine. Well, Panama is a place where you can experience
a lot.
A lot dishes from many parts of the world that you can even imagine that you can experience that in Panama. Well, you will find them here, from Italian to Greek, from Japanese to Thai to whatever you want to imagine. It is here represented in Panama. So those are the type of things that we're going to be talking about during the seminar about Panama Basics. So those of you who want to come to Panama, either to live or just to visit Panama, will get a feeling for what we're talking about here when we go to Panama. Not just the tourist view, but a view that is closer to the realities of Panama. Culture, history, geography, weather. I was looking at the weather today. Look at this. In New York City, 51 degrees. San Francisco, 56 degrees Fahrenheit. In Panama, we have 82 degrees in the city, but only driving about 5 hours, 6 hours away from Panama. You go to Boquete, and in Boquete, it is a comfortable 70 degrees. So the same day, only a few hours away, if you take an airplane, it only takes you 30 minutes to fly to Boquete, and you will be enjoying a complete different weather in the same country. You know,
Yeah, it's
so
incredible.
those are the type of things that you need to understand about Panama, because the more you understand it, the better it is for you, the more comfortable you're going to feel, and the more you're going to love it while you're here.
Plus, I feel like it gives you the ability to make a more qualified decision. You know, I hear a lot of people, especially coming through the Do Panama relocation program, you know, that say, hey, you know, I want to go to Bocas, and I love Bocas. Or I want to go to Boquete, and I love Boquete too. And, you know, all these different locations that they might see photos of, and they might not understand the weather, or they might not understand like our humidity, you know. It's quite different, you know. It's a different place. It's all beautiful. You know, we pretty much have summer temperatures throughout the entire year. We have what's called the dry season, what I like to call the green season, which you can ask a lot of people. Even I know this great story. Mike Vuytowecz, the founder of Inside Panama, our great sponsor, he's going to be coming on right after you. You know, he was talking to me one time that when him and his wife first moved to Panama, they would go back home to the U.S. during what we used to call the rainy season. And now, again, I like to call it the green season because it's so beautiful and the flowers are lush. And now many people like him find that that's the most beautiful time of the year because our rolling hills are green. And yes, it might rain. We are a tropical rainforest.
Yeah, it is. It's
so
a tropic. You have to get used to that.
And we had a lot of rain last week and unfortunate storms that, you know, we got the tail end of. But for the most part, those rainstorms come in for 10 minutes, 30 minutes, no more than an hour. It happens usually, at least here in the city, between, you know, 2:30 p.m. and 5:30 p.m. And it comes, it goes. We get a little wash. The garden gets watered. So
exactly. I was going to tell you something else, Austin. Now that I was listening to Mr. Rojas talking about Panama and all the things, and he represents the government. I have nothing to do with the government, so I'm not doing any free advertisement for the government. But anyhow, what I was going to say is that he was talking about COVID and the pandemic. Many people may be wondering how safe it is Panama is right now during this period. Well, let me give you some piece of history too. When it comes to contagious or infectious disease, Panama has a very good track record. Why? Because Panama learned to control disease from the Americans. When the Panama Canal was built by the United States, one of the first things the United States did was to clean the entire city and the area where the canal was going to be constructed. Clean from mosquitoes, from yellow fever, from the disease that was killing a lot of people during the construction of the canal. Yeah. We, as a country, we learned from that experience, and we've been repeating that learning experience over and over again throughout the years. So Panama, when it comes to controlling infectious disease, contagious disease, we are very good. We have very good track record, and we're doing a very good job when it comes to the pandemic right now in Panama. So that's one thing that we learned. Another thing that we learned, people may be wondering, is it safe to drink water in Panama? For the most part, in most parts of Panama, it is completely safe to drink tap water out of the faucet.
It's some of the best water in the world.
One of the best water in the world. And again, we learned that from the Americans. Americans, when it came to Panama, say we have to provide this country with clean water because we don't want people to get sick, because we need safe, healthy people to help us with the construction of the canal. So we learned our lessons, and we've been practicing and repeating that over and over again throughout the decades and ages. So when you come to Panama, that's what you're going to find in terms of health. That's what you're going to find in terms of sanitation. Very good conditions, because we learned those things from the people who built the canal, the Americans. So we keep repeating those things. So that used to give you another bit of information that perhaps people didn't know. Say, oh, I'm going to Panama. It's the same as any other Latin American country. I need to be concerned about getting sick when I drink the water. No, you don't have to be worried about it. You're going to be very safe. I drink, and some parts of the city, the water is even better than other parts of the city. If you live, for instance, in the area that surrounds the Panama Canal Commission, that was the preceding company that left when the Americans were here. They taught the Panamanians how to clean the water, to follow the procedures, American standards. They left those standards in Panama to the new company called the Panama Canal Authority. So if you live in the canal area, you're going to be drinking water with the same standards that the Americans had here many years ago. So bits of information for you to feel safe when you come to Panama, to feel comfortable when you come to Panama. As you've already mentioned, it's a beautiful country, but it's very safe, and you're going to feel very good, very very
Well, and
comfortable
it's
living
funny
here
you
in Panama.
mentioned the water. You know, like I lived in New York. I've lived in all over through California, and you know, New York specifically. I remember like you could not drink the water. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't want to find out what
Hey,
happened if you did, but I just didn't. You know, and that's one thing I love is that you know our beautiful clean water and of course nature. You know, like that's one thing that even myself, you know, being the senior editor of the Panama Good Times newspaper, the restaurant and travel magazine, I get so blessed to travel around, meet great people, and spend time in this great country. And, you know, that's one thing that I saw through the pandemic is how much I was taking for granted. You know, I would go to Boquete, for example, for 3 days and it'd be work. And, you know, it's like, no, do your work, but also go up to that beautiful waterfall that's only a 7-minute drive from downtown or jump on some of the electric e-bikes that you can get in downtown and, you know, experience, you know, like we have so much beauty in our backyard. And, you know, that's why, you know, with this newest edition of the Restaurant Travel Magazine, it grew by so much after the pandemic because, you know, we wanted to be able to share not only with the foreigners coming in, but also the local Panamanian population and us expats here that live in Panama. And, you know, a lot of us haven't been out to, let's say, Cambatal, or when's the last time you went out to San Blas or these other beautiful areas like Boquete and Bocas and Pedicee and Vanal. You know, that we just have so much, and it's in such a small little area, but it's so diverse, you know.
In minutes, you can be in different parts of the country very easily.
Yeah, it's incredible. So, Jaime, I really appreciate you coming on today, taking the time to talk to us. Guys, remember, if you want more information on the Panama Basics seminars, these are live seminars. They're going to be done via the internet. So if you don't live here in Panama or you're not in Panama currently, you can still join in on those. Now, if you are an expat or even a Panamanian, you know, you might learn some awesome stuff. They're going to be a lot of fun. If you need that information or you want some information, please email me at austin@dopanama.com. I will get you all connected with Jaime. Again, Jaime, I really appreciate your time today. We are going to check out our second listing today. And don't forget, guys, right after we play this video, Michael Vuytowecz, founder of Inside Panama, our great sponsor on the show today, he is going to be talking to us first about that hotel we saw that's over in Boquete that now is part of that tourism incentive program. So what a win-win-win if you are interested in buying a hotel. And now we're going to take a look at a beautiful home over in the beach town area. But Mike's going to break down all this information for us. So we're going to watch that video. Again, thank you, Jaime. I wish you a beautiful Sunday, and I'll be seeing you soon, my friend.
Yep. Take care. Thank you.
All right. Well, that was a beautiful listing. Guys, please welcome one of my favorite human beings, one of my best friends here in Panama, the owner and founder, Inside Panama Real Estate, our sponsor for the show, Mr. Michael Vuytowecz. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well, Austin. Thank you for having me. It's certainly great to be back on the Sunday Spin, and thank you for your kind words as well.
Oh, of course. Well, and it's like, I had to get across the country. I had to get the Restaurant and Travel magazine out there. I figured, I'd want to get my Sundays back. But then, through that traveling and all the people that said, hey, man, I really miss your show. Could you bring that back? It's like, I love doing this stuff. So here we are, guys. We're here for our 16th episode. We had a 3-4 week break, but we're going to be coming to you live every Sunday. As always, Mike's going to be talking about these listings. But before we do that, Mike, I want to find out, what is going on? How's the activity lately?
Well, it's been pretty brisk, really, since the election, with all the COVID and talk of maybe locking down again in the States and the cases going over the moon. Our phones are ringing off the hook. People are buying homes sight unseen, something that's kind of unheard of for me in Panama anyway. A lot of people are inquiring about self-sustainability, selling farms right now where people can grow their own food and have their own water source. And there's definitely a different trend going on. As you mentioned earlier, with the digital nomads are coming out of the woodwork, and younger people with children are coming to Panama, where historically it was a retirement mecca. So
of course,
there's a lot going on.
Well, that whole qualified investor program, I mean, to be able to at least put a promissory to purchase and or to purchase prior to coming, that you could have your residency when you fly into the country a month later, like that's pretty cool.
That was fantastic news. I thought he did a great job. It was very welcomed information, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to take advantage of that.
Yeah, we're going to have him back on in 3 or 4 weeks. We obviously want to have the best and most valuable information for our guests out there. So let's talk about that beautiful hotel that now that we know has a huge tourism incentive on it over there in Boquete. Give us the rundown on that hotel.
Well, it's a 14-room, fully operational hotel. It's only a very short walk to town. It's a gated property. There's lots of amenities. There's a gym. There's internet in all the rooms and TVs. There's a jacuzzi. There's a laundry facility, which is very helpful when you're traveling, of course. It has fantastic views from the huge deck that you saw in the video. There's a restaurant, which is great as well, so you don't have to walk around. They do serve breakfast. It's currently #1 on Booking.com, which that's something to be proud of. Something else that they have that's pretty unique is they have a drive-through coffee service, which I don't know of another one in Boquete anyway.
Well, definitely not in Boquete.
Yeah, you drive through and get your coffee, and on your way to work, it's pretty busy. It's a great little feature. The owner has great relationships with tour operators in town, so it's very easy to book tours right there. You can get transportation services right there. There's 3 different styles of rooms. There's like budget type rooms, there's private rooms, and then there's rooms that are big enough for a family. So it really is a well-rounded property. Like you said, if somebody would have purchased that under the incentive, the investor incentive, it's automatic entry into Panama, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, they get 2. You get the qualified investor program, where they can get you your residency instantly. Well, 30 days, pretty darn fast. But then the tourism investment incentive, which I believe, if I heard Jose correctly, that's 100%. You get 100% back on what taxes you would have paid on your income. So until you hit that threshold, I think there is probably a threshold there. Again, that's something to talk to your attorney about. Get the full details. That's why we want to work with the best attorneys to help you work with the best attorneys. Mike, how much does this hotel cost?
They're asking $1.5 million.
$1.5 million, guys. You could be the owner of a beautiful hotel downtown Boquete with an awesome track record. Love it, my man. Love it. So talk to us about that second listing we saw today. Now that was a home. Was that in Coronado?
It is in Coronado. It's directly across from the golf course. It's a really nice home. The seller is very motivated to sell it. It's a 3-bedroom, 3-bath home. It's approximately 3,000 square feet. The lot is just under a half acre. Very easy access to get in and out of Coronado. It's on the main road. Great access to the country club as well. Literally, the golf course is across the street. Which, of course, you have all the amenities. You have the beach club, you have the pool, you have the spa, you have the gym, several restaurants. There's a beach club that you can go there and they have a restaurant there as well. In fact, it's like a 3-block walk from this house to the beach.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's really a great opportunity. It's got a really nice, spacious, open kitchen, as I'm sure you saw in the video.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it really is. And there's a nice large terrace overlooking the pool. It's a great opportunity in Coronado. And again, it falls under the threshold for applying for the investment.
Qualified investor program. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure like most of the listings that I know that you in Inside Panama, all your agents, your great agents across the country, I know you guys got a lot of deals out there, but most of the stuff is pretty much American standard, really beautiful homes. Like that home right there that we just saw. I mean, that's gorgeous. That was very, very well done.
I think so as well. And this couple, they actually have 2 homes. They're really, like I said, they're motivated to move this home.
And what's the cost on this home that we just saw?
They're asking $398,000.
Wow, perfect.
And if you wanted to come rent it for a month or 2 or whatever, you could do that and kind of test drive it, if you will.
Awesome. Well, that's a good deal.
Yeah, it's a great deal.
Cool. Well, now I think this next property, we're going to see one last property today, guys. Now, Mike, give us the rundown on this property before we jump into this video.
Okay.
And this is kind of like a little less expensive, right?
Oh yeah, this property is legitimately a project, if you will. And I'm very, very familiar with it. It literally sits right next door to the house that I bought 14 years ago. And it's exactly like what I did 14 years ago. I bought a fixer. It had been sitting empty for 4 years with a leaky roof, and nobody had touched the landscaping or the pool. But it was right on the golf course, and the price was right. This home, 14 years later, could be purchased for $10,000 less than I paid 14 years ago. So,
wow.
Yeah, I mean, it needs a little bit of love. Nothing that's a big deal. What's really shocking and surprising, and I'm sure that you know, is how inexpensive it is to rehabilitate a home in Panama. When I came from San Diego, it was shocking how cheap it was for us to rehabilitate our home.
Of course. So, and what is the cost on this home?
They're asking $225,000. It's got an 1,133 square meter lot. The house is 262 square meters, so it's over 2,000 square feet. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, built in 1994. It's completely fenced and gated right on the 14th hole of the golf course. Awesome. There's a pool with a bohio and a barbecue area. Of course, you can gain access to the country club for the same amenities with the golf and the tennis and the gym and the spa and the beach club. There is a well for water. There's also a caretaker's home on this property. My home didn't come with that. Of course, as you know, Coronado is a really well sought after retirement community. There's so many amenities. When I came 14 years ago, there's nothing there. Today, there's 4 grocery stores, lots of pharmacies and eye doctors and dentists, and
you even got a movie theater that plays movies in English.
There's international schools right there, and literally, it's a 3-minute golf cart ride to the beach.
Awesome. Well, let's take a look at that. We got some videos. We put together a slideshow. Should we take a look at this, Mike?
Let's do it.
Awesome. Here we go, guys.
I'm gonna post links to all 3 homes so that they can view them again at their leisure.
Awesome. Awesome. So that was our third listing of the day. Remind us the price on that, Mike.
225,000 asking price. You can see it needs a little love. It's mostly clutter.
Yeah.
You can see the outside's very clean. There's mature landscaping. It'd be very easy to go through that house and doll it up.
Awesome. Awesome. So remember, guys, if you want that copy of the free ebook, super simple. Just email freeebook@ipreinfo.com. Now, this ebook was just, I guess, freshened up, huh, Mike? There's a lot of new info in there. So if you haven't looked at Panama for a while, or you just want to freshen up on what's going on, or if this is your first time thinking about Panama, make sure you get that free ebook. It's free. And again, all you got to do is email freeebook@ipreinfo.com. If you want more info on the Do Panama Relocation Program, where we help you along every step of the way, A to Z, email myself at austin@dopanama.com. Guys, Mike and I love helping people move to Panama. I mean, come on, look at this. This is not a screen. This is like the actual weather outside right now. Oh, thank God it wasn't raining today. But yeah, it's beautiful out. I'm going home. Gonna go hang out with the family, probably go for a walk. Why not? You know, the weather like this. We've had a little bit of rain over the past, 10 days, and looking forward to seeing everybody next Sunday on the Sunday Spin. Mike, is there anything else you'd like to say before we go enjoy the rest of our day?
Well, I'd just like to say that we're here to help. Like you said, we're here to help in every way that we can, whether it be transport or lodging or seeing property. And of course, you've got all the contacts for the lawyers and the insurance people and everything that you need to consider relocating to Panama. We can.
Plus, I know all the great restaurants.
Yes,
I love restaurants. I can't cook worth anything, so don't ask me to make you dinner. But I'll take you to some of the best restaurants. I'll help you get there. Now, if you're not in Panama right now and you can't get your hands on a physical copy through one of our distribution partners, you can also go to the website, dopanama.com. The second slide shows the restaurant travel magazine. Just click the Read Now button, and boom, you can read the whole magazine right there from the comfort of your home and or office. So, guys, we're going to see you next Sunday again at 3 p.m. for another episode of the Sunday Spin. Thank you so much to our sponsor, Inside Panama, and to you, Mr. Michael Vuytowecz, for your time today. Until then, ciao.
Thanks, Austin.